All right, man, peace. So, in light of the series of trades that the Cleveland Cavaliers made to unload many of their more unproductive team members, it's very obvious that in the aftermath of LeBron James's game-winning basket to defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves and his celebration, that he clearly omitted certain teammates from his celebration because he had the foreknowledge that certain trades were going to go down the next day. The main teammate being 4'7" Isaiah Thomas. Anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Yeah. Next up, it was an interesting 24 hours for Isaiah Thomas. After Tuesday's loss, he appeared to call out the coaching staff by saying they don't make adjustments. Ty Lue was asked about that yesterday and said, quote, "That's not true."
It's unbelievable to me how forthright Isaiah Thomas was. I think that a lot of it was legitimate, and a portion of it was based in the fact that he was trying to force a trade and instigate a trade. I believe that many of his actions during his tenure with the Cleveland Cavaliers was based in the fact that he was going to try to force a trade by any means necessary. Either he was going to force his way into the Cleveland lineup, into a dynamic similar to what he already had in Boston, or he was going to force a trade. And he was not worried about who he alienated. It was just interesting that he was delusional enough to believe that he was going to create all that negative energy, all that entropy within the team, and that LeBron James would still be as receptive to him during a celebration like this. It just goes to show you that many athletes, they live in their own world, they live in their own bubble of self-aggrandizement, and it stops them from many times being able to see the forest through the trees. Just goes to show you how toxic that locker room must have been when you have a person with all that feminine energy like a LeBron James, and then you have a person with all those insecurities like an Isaiah Thomas. Once again, Kyrie Irving, brother, you're a genius.
Then last night, LeBron hit the game-winning shot, and it appears that he avoids Isaiah while celebrating. The Cavs are just 7-13 since Christmas.
He didn't just avoid Isaiah Thomas. He literally avoided everyone who was going to be traded the next day. Look at the guys who he chest bumped with. So LeBron James clearly knew beforehand who was going to be moved.
What?
Skippy!
Maybe he's just too little. He just couldn't see.
He didn't see him?
No.
Shannon, how will Isaiah fit with the Cavs going forward?
It doesn't work. I don't care. It doesn't work.
Don't worry about it, Shay. He's gone. You can breathe easy.
He's ball dominant. And when you and LeBron is like, to say LeBron is better without Isaiah Thomas would be an understatement. To say all the other players are better when they don't play with Isaiah Thomas is an understatement.
Yep.
I don't really know what else to say.
And you look, let me say this. To a degree, I feel sorry for Isaiah Thomas. From a professional perspective, he certainly had an idea of what he was going to make in the basketball landscape in regards to his market value while he was balling out of control with the Boston Celtics last year. And the hip injury derailed all of that, and the trade totally decimated it. And I knew that he was not going to be the same player. I even stated before, or pardon me, while the trade was in talks and after it happened, that there were going to be issues between him and LeBron, because once you get to be the top guy, the top dog, you never want to let that go again. Particularly when you're a professional athlete and you have that alpha male, that alpha wolf personality, like an Isaiah Thomas. When you combine that with the insecurity issues that he's had about his height and being neglected and the huge chip on his shoulder, that's going to be something that's part and parcel of the Isaiah Thomas package for the remainder of his career in the NBA. And it's going to cause a lot of problems for him. There's already talks of him saying that when he goes to the LA Lakers that he wants to be the starter. We know that's not going to happen because they have big plans for Lonzo Ball. So it's going to be rough for Isaiah because he's going to spend the rest of this season trying to prove to teams that he can be a viable representative for their squad as the lead player, and it's not going to work. So he's going to be very frustrated. And I expect him throughout the latter part of this season to cause a lot of problems in that Lake locker room.
He's 5'9". He's a defensive liability. Of 355 players, that's played at least 300 minutes.
Skip, out of 355 players, this man is ranked 367 in defense. Now, how the hell you do that? You tell me that, Skip. Look at the man in the still picture. He couldn't even chest bump LeBron. It would have been a sexual assault. The man was right next to LeBron's penis. I mean, goddamn.
Isaiah Thomas' defensive rating is the worst. Skip, and here's the thing. Last night was probably his best game in that uniform.
Isaiah Thomas remind me of that movie that Lil Bow Wow did when he tried to act like he was going to the NBA.
Yep. And he still had the highest minus of all the Cavaliers. And he played his best game statistically. Mm-hmm. What are we supposed to do with that, Skip? Because what happens is, and look, they're not a team that can just multiple rotate like the Celtics.
Look at Isaiah Thomas. He looked like some little kid who wore a replica jersey and replica shorts to the game and snuck down on the floor.
Celtics can. So he's getting beat. So Skip, everybody try to put him in the pick and roll, and then walk Isaiah down, lay the ball up. Jeff Teague could get to the basket anytime he want to, and then when help come, he just kick it to the open guy. That's why he had 15 assists with 1 turnover, because he's passing the guys that are wide open because the bigs are coming to try to help Isaiah Thomas. I said call the National Guard, because I dispatched the National Guard because I need some help. Somebody keeping the guy in front of Isaiah, because he can't do it by himself.
Call the National Guard, Janet. Skip, I can't believe this shit. Might as well put me in uniform. I could guard a nigga better than damn Isaiah Thomas.
It's just that simple. And here's the kicker. We knew he was a defensive liability when he was 1,000% healthy.
Well, Shannon, your boy LeBron is not that much less of a defensive liability. If Isaiah Thomas is ranked 355, LeBron probably ranked 354 and a half. Because he hadn't been guarding shit this year either. That play he made on Jimmy Butler at the end of the game, that block might have been the first big defensive play he's made in about a month or so.
He's not healthy now, but he's not giving you anything consistently on the offensive end. Therein lies the problem. As I said before, if he's not scoring, he adds little value. Give him credit, he did assist the ball well last night. It's hard for him to pass the ball over someone. Yeah. He has to jump into the air, so a lot of times he gets caught. And it's turnover or, bail out. It's like 5 seconds on the clock.
And beyond that, Isaiah Thomas has little to no point guard skills, unfortunately for him. And he's not interested in developing them. He's interested in trying to play out this Allen Iverson fantasy. The worst thing that ever happened to him may have been the success that he experienced the last 2 years with the Celtics, because it has imbued him with this delusional vision of himself as the best player in the NBA. I think that it's important sometimes for a man to know his limits and his restrictions so that he can maximize what his gifts actually are, as opposed to trying to work on gifts that he doesn't have. That leads to friction, and that leads to toxicity in your locker room because of that delusional embracing of something that doesn't exist.
Skip, I wish there was a way I could dress this up, but it just doesn't work. T. Lou just go to, and here's the thing, Skip. The rotation last night was like it was because there was no D. Wade. Yep. What do you do when D. Wade comes back?
Well, you ain't got to worry about that, brother.
D. Wade is the leader of the second unit. So now they were rolling along, 18 or 19, had that rotation going. LeBron was cooking. He got out getting like 3 or 4 minutes. Yep.
Yeah. We won 18 or 19, Skip. We was on a roll. We looking like the 96 Bulls. Best team in NBA history. That's how we look. And all of a sudden, this little midget gonna come back in the lineup. Unbelievable. I said, Bron, you mean to tell me that you this hot? Our team 18-1 last 19 games. And you got to plug in Emmanuel Lewis. Get the hell out of here.
3 or 4 minutes of rest, sip some water. He back in there with Kyle Korver. Fourth quarter last night. He was hot. LeBron coming, kicking it to him like, Jeff Green, get that.
Let me say this also. It's very obvious that LeBron James balled out in that game against Minnesota because he finally got his wish. He finally got the Cleveland front office to acquiesce to his demands to get rid of a lot of the dead weight on the team. That's why that was the best game that he's had probably in the last 3 weeks.
Isaiah come in there, oh Lord. then what made this look so bad is that Isaiah's so small and he's tugging on LeBron like, mama, but that internet video, but Linda.
Seriously, he's like tugging on him, trying to get his attention.
But Skip, how can LeBron chest bump it? If LeBron jumps up in the air and tries,
Can we stop?
Skip. LeBron can't even chest bump him. If you pick Isaiah up, it look like he's kidnapping a little boy. I said, we got to trade this little nigga. I can't take it no more. Gary Coleman, Emmanuel Lewis, Lil Bow Wow. This ain't a movie.
If LeBron try to chest bump him, and Sticks and Barry's gonna be on top of the man's head. Nah, get out of here, Isaiah. Come off the bench or come off your couch. Those are your two choices, Isaiah. Off the bench or off the couch. Which do you choose?
Interesting. So, speaking of oh Lord moments, the night before, after the just ignominious loss at Orlando, me, myself, and Isaiah Thomas had the audacity to take a shot at the coaching staff. We don't make adjustments in second halves. We didn't feature Ty Lue in that game because he got ill in that one.
That's why I say it was clear to me that Isaiah Thomas was very subtly trying to sabotage his time or his tenure with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But that's what's really irksome is the duplicity. It's like you're speaking so forthright about what's going on with the team. You're saying things in public to the media that really should be held for behind closed doors. And then you're trying to act like you want to run and hug LeBron and be happy with the team's success. That's why I said it must have been a real shit show in that locker room. Because between LeBron James and his megalomaniacal nature, his super ego mixed with his feminine personality, then you have a player with a Napoleonic complex like Isaiah Thomas. Oh my goodness. I feel sorry for Tyronn Lue.
But it did force Ty Lue to respond to that shot from Isaiah Thomas ahead of last night's game back in Cleveland. And you could just tell Ty Lue was not pleased with that shot at the coaching staff. And
I think that Ty Lue actually answered it in a very cool way because I believe that Ty Lue knew that there was a trade in the works to get rid of Isaiah Thomas.
And he just flat out said, that is not true. So, guess what happened last night? Ty Lue said, watch this, Isaiah, I'm going to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And guess what happened in the fourth quarter and overtime?
What about me?
Cedi Osman played more minutes in the fourth quarter and overtime than me, myself, and Isaiah Thomas.
Well, goddamn, Skip. I could have told you that. I told Ty Lue there should be nobody in the court shorter than 5'5". I mean, shit, Cedi Osman, I'd take Donny Osman over Isaiah Thomas.
Played. What? So it felt like almost that the Cavs had acquired a new player last night at the trade deadline. His name's Cedi Osman. 3 years ago, he was the first pick in the second round. He went to Turkey. He's from Macedonia. He went to Turkey to play in their pro leagues for the last couple of years. And he's a rookie now at age 22 in the NBA. And last night, he played significant, prominent, featured minutes with the game on the line.
Isn't that interesting? Cedi Osman is from Macedonia. He went to go play in Turkey, and now he's in the NBA at 22. I wonder if when he decided to go to Turkey to play basketball, semi-professional or professional, whatever, to whatever capacity it was he told that his father was ruining his life?
And I thought he played very well, and he made several big little plays, such as defending Jimmy Butler's drive at the end when he was trying to make his game-winning shot. So, guess what, boys and girls? Cedi Osman led the Cavs last night with a plus-minus of 7. So when he was on the court, they were winning by 7. While Isaiah brought up the rear last night, when he was on the court, he was -6. Any surprise there, Shannon? No. Okay? So, this was very significant to me. If we could see the chest bump video one more time, guess who LeBron went and chest bumped first? Cedi Osman?
Yes, because he knows Cedi going to be a major component of the team from here on out. LeBron James is the type of dude who is, this is one of the good aspects of LeBron that I've observed, is that he's extremely positive and he cannot take negativity. The problem that he has is that he's megalomaniacal and he needs everyone to give him credit for everything. He needs to be the center of attention. and he will incessantly plot and plan to siphon any attention away from anyone else. So those are his flaws, but some of the good aspects of his personality is that he doesn't suffer negativity very well, and he has the power to remove the sources of the negativity. He knows that Jetty Osman is a follower and adherent to the LeBron James cult of personality. LeBron needs all his teammates to venerate him. If you're a teammate of his and you don't venerate him, you better be a great player. And that's why he was able to tolerate Kyrie for a while. But all the players who are going to come onto the team now are going to be fresh to the LeBron James system, and they're going to bring a little bump. They're going to bring some verve, some added energy that he needs to reinvigorate him. And he's hoping that players who have not been successful thus far in their NBA careers are going to be galvanized by the prospect of helping him glorify himself. So that's why this deal is going to work out very well for the remainder of the season. However much longer LeBron decides to play with Cleveland, because as has been seen over the course of LeBron's career, most of his teammates can't stomach him for more than 3 years.
Jetty, nobody even knew who he was before last night. That's Jetty. He chest bumped first.
Yep, absolutely. He got Jetty, he got Tristan. Why? Because those are the guys staying. I think he also got Jeff Green.
And little Isaiah's saying, hey, remember me? Remember me?
The return of the
Jetty.
Jetty.
Hey, what about me? It is. It's the return. Except he never was there before.
What made it?
Yeah, I think he got Jeff Green down the line, though. I don't think it's in this video.
What made it look so bad is that he's tugging on LeBron's jersey, and it's
Hey.
me. What about
Hey.
me? And he keeps saying we don't make adjustments. Isaiah, they can't make adjustments to your height. You're 5'9".
Yeah.
That's it.
And LeBron doesn't do anything that's not calculated. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. He knew exactly what he was doing when he ignored Isaiah Thomas. There's no doubt about that.
He was just ignoring the little guy.
I wouldn't say,
It's a statement.
He is the best passer
How about you-
in
No,
basketball.
he's
He
not
didn't
the best.
see Isaiah
That's a good
standing
point.
there.
Joy, you know how you see somebody and you pretend like you don't see
Yeah,
them?
you walk in a
across
room
the
and
street,
someone's
like,
there that you don't like, and you look all the way past them and don't make eye contact.
This me right here.
Yeah.
I ain't on the
And
phone.
he didn't even, okay, so you go chest bump Jetty, and then it was Tristan. And at
Jeff
some
Green.
point, you would think he would at least turn and acknowledge Isaiah, like, oh, you too? But he,
Of course he wasn't going to acknowledge him. How could you acknowledge a dead man? In LeBron's mind, once you're gone, you're dead to him. That's why I've stated in the past, all that family nonsense, all these teams, is foolishness. And as I've already stated as well, that is why so many of his former teammates disdain him, because they bought into his spiel about family and the guys and us all being as one on the team. And then he either departs or he forces them to be traded. And it's like, what happened? Like, they buy into it.
But he never even acknowledged him one time. He shut him out because the message sent was, I don't want any part of this guy.
No, Skip, stop lying on my man. I spoke to Bron after the game. I said, Bron, you didn't see that little nigga trying to tug on your damn jersey? He told me no. He thought it was a mosquito. I said, oh, okay, that's understandable.
Do you know that I actually was on the phone with Dan Gilbert? And I said, Dan, please don't trade Kyrie. Whatever Kyrie and I are going through,
LeBron.
LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron was on the phone.
Because he was. That's what.
Yeah, all three of us on the phone. It was three-way. I told Dan, don't trade Kyrie. And then Dan told me what Kyrie said about me and Bron. I said, you know what, trade his ass. After I got Bron off the phone, I said, you know what, trade him. I can't stand little niggas with beards.
That's what we got
And
reported.
he says, if you trade Kai to Boston, why would you take a guy that's damaged in return?
Yep.
I don't care if he is going to come back full strength. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. They don't work together.
Reason why they traded him to Boston, Shannon, is because Boston had the most draft picks to get back. And what Cleveland was thinking was, okay, we traded Kyrie. It's probably an 85% chance that LeBron is going to leave us at the end of this season. We have to make sure that we have as many assets as we can, offer other teams to possibly package the current players that we have if we need to trade for another big name star, or if we have to totally rebuild from the ground up, we have some assets that we can pick up in the draft. That was the mindset, because they're not luring any big name free agents to Cleveland, not once LeBron leaves.
Yep.
Because his thing is he's trying to get a max contract. They don't pay max 5-9 max contract.
Yep.
I don't believe they play 5-9 max contracts anyway.
Yep.
But 13 points, 14 points a night, Skip,
Yep.
is not going to get him the payday that he desires.
No.
So he thinks he has to, you know, and he used to be in ball dominant. He thinks he has to put up 15, 20 shots a game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Skip, he's shooting 34%.
Yep.
He's shooting 23% from the three.
Right, but we all knew that there was going to be a period of transition for Isaiah Thomas when he came back. The real problem is that he doesn't play in a system that is conducive to helping him build up his confidence, because everything has to revolve around LeBron, because every season that LeBron plays is supposed to be a championship season. At least those are the expectations. So he was just the wrong player on the wrong team, at the wrong place, at the wrong time. So it's best for everyone involved that these trades occurred.
That's 12% from the field and 10% from the 13% from the 3-point line, less than what he shot last year. We know he's a defensive liability because he's not guarding anybody, because he's probably the only 5'9" guy in the NBA. But if he's not giving you points, Skip, he adds little value to your roster. He can't rebound the ball on a consistent basis. Yeah, he gets 3 or 4 rebounds here or there.
Yeah, I mean, he can get 3-4 rebounds. No, about once or twice a game, the ball bounces off the top of his head. He might catch it. No, maybe some ball dribble off somebody's ankle. He can pick it while he's standing up because he's so damn small. But I mean, other than that, what he gonna do, Skip?
Yeah, he's had 8. I think he had 8 assists the other night. He had 7 last night. Okay, but those are anomaly. His history says, his career says, he's a 5 to 6 assist a night guy. But it just doesn't. There's nothing worse, Skip, being in something and it just doesn't work. This doesn't work. And I'm sure Isaiah's a great guy, but it doesn't work. I don't know what else Ty Lue. I don't know what Dan Gilbert. Hell, Melissa Gilbert can see it. Little House on the Prairie. You remember Laura Ingalls? She can see that this doesn't work.
I used to go to church with her. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but
Manhattan.
It doesn't. I'm sorry.
So the point is, I'm with you on all of the above. It's just clear, like if you just cut him tonight, just said you're done here, just go on and do whatever
you want to do.
Yeah, they would be better off, because I still say Jose Calderon was a better fit in various lineups, just playing pure point guard. And he's just a try-hard guy, and he's smart, and LeBron likes him and trusts him.
He will do everything he possibly can to keep the guy in front of him.
He will. No, he will.
And he'll be able to, and beyond that, just by being taller, you can utilize more ball denial techniques defensively. Isaiah Thomas can't stop anything on defense. He couldn't stop anything when he was healthy. How the hell he gonna stop something now? Just from waving your hands up in the air, if you're 6'3", 6'4", you're gonna take away a passing lane if you have good timing. You Isaiah Thomas, you ain't taking away a damn thing.
Will. So to me, all the lineups I saw with LeBron and Jetty, or just LeBron and Jeff Green, all those various lineups, they were all better than when Isaiah was on the floor. But, and there's a big but here, it has been reported that this owner has become fond of little Isaiah Thomas. And it starts to smack of a Jerry Jones, Des Bryant situation, or a Bill Belichick, Jimmy G situation, where it's your guy, and what's going to happen here. And in that case, obviously Kraft overruled Belichick. And
who knows? Maybe Gilbert got Isaiah Thomas to act as an informant in exchange for a promise that if he could, he would move him. That would explain why Isaiah Thomas felt like he had the liberty to speak how he spoke, and also to take as many bad shots as he wanted. It would also explain why LeBron James tuned him out, because he realized that he was dealing with a plant.
And nobody's going to overrule Jerry Jones with Des Bryant. But to me, if the owner is truly like buddies with him now, and they said they text and whatever, I don't know if they FaceTime or not, but the point is he going to overrule the head coach? Because the head coach needs to start not playing Isaiah Thomas. It's your only hope to get back on track in the East.
Skip, you covered the NBA for a very long time, and you've seen basketball. Name the time a 5'9" guy has led a team to a championship.
Well, you can't do that. I mean, there have been 5'9" guys who've had success.
Yeah.
But
Well,
not
Nate
like-
Archibald,
Yeah.
Allen Iverson.
You know,
Well, Nate Archibald and Allen Iverson, they were about 6 feet.
and Nate was a little bigger than.
He's like
5'9",
6'1".
I think.
He's
Yeah,
like 6'1".
yeah.
I've seen Nate in
Yeah,
person.
and Allen
But
Iverson was just the all-time freakish
Yeah.
little man. Like there's never been a bigger little man.
Calvin.
Yeah, well, Allen Iverson was a transcendent athlete. He was a freakish athlete. He's another guy with a bugged out fan base, but he was a freakish athlete. And had a high skill level, of course, great heart. Probably pound for pound, inch for inch, one of the top 3 most physically gifted players in NBA history, Allen Iverson. But he was lacking in an understanding on how to make his teammates better. But his talent was so unbelievable that he was able to create a cult of personality. But no, Allen Iverson was not 5'9". AI was about 6 feet.
Alvin Murphy was special.
He was
But
pretty special.
he did have
Yeah.
Moses Malone.
He did.
And that's what people forget.
And Muggsy Bogues was pretty good.
Yeah.
He had-
Muggsy was 5'3". I wouldn't even count him in this. Because Muggsy couldn't do anything other than be extremely quick and active and be a nuisance and a pest.
He had his moments.
Right.
Spud Webb was he's a close friend
Right.
of mine. He was pretty good in stretches with Atlanta, but he had
Dominique.
Dominique.
And Tree Rollins.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah, but Spud was never a prominent player in actual game. Doc Rivers was a starting point guard. Spud was more of a novelty.
you think about, you're going to build your team around Isaiah. So you know what? We're going to build our team moving forward around Isaiah. You're not going nowhere with no 5'9" guy. Really? That's like saying I'm going to build my team around a punter or a kicker.
I mean, he is 5'9". There's something you can do about that, but he's been 5'9" since he came in the league. I'm pretty sure.
But here's the thing. We know he's a 5'9", slow, injured player.
But more than that, he's a 5'9" slow injured player who thinks that he is on the same level as LeBron James.
He does.
Absolutely. Joy hit on the best point. Is the point that I opened up the video with. Delusion. That is what has taken away a lot from Isaiah Thomas more than anything else, is that he is delusional. And beyond that, he's looking for that huge mega contract. Sometimes you have to sit yourself down and tell yourself, you know what, things are not going to pan out how I thought. Of course, the problem is that Isaiah Thomas is sitting down saying things might not pan out how I hoped. An important part of life is being able to adjust to the stumbling blocks that come up in front of you. You never know why they come up in front of you. Maybe it's to open up a better situation somewhere else. Just because you're walking down a dark alley does not mean that there's not a light around the corner. But when you get desperate, like Isaiah Thomas is clearly desperate, that leads to you sabotaging your own life. It's nothing against this brother. I hope everything works out. But it seems to me that he's on a path to sabotage his own career by deciding that he's going to be an agent of chaos. First in Cleveland and soon to be with the Lakers. We'll see what happens. That's why I harp on things like not smoking all that weed, all that shit clouding your mind up. Because once you come down off that high, all your problems are still there. Isaiah Thomas could be as delusional as he wants. He could think he's equal to LeBron all he wants. When he gets out on the floor, it's not going to happen for him. Because even on his best day, he was never anywhere in the LeBron James galaxy. On his best day, he was never in the Kyrie Irving galaxy, to be quite frank with you.
Which is the
Not just LeBron.
It's not so much. They knew he was injured. That wasn't a secret. They knew he was 5'9". That wasn't a secret. They knew he was ball dominant and that he had to take a lot of shots. None of that was a secret. What the reveal is that now he's with Cleveland. He thinks that Cleveland is his team. That's the issue here.
Well, that's one of the issues. But the issue also is that Cleveland underestimated the greatness of Kyrie Irving. That's also the issue. It's very much akin to a person who has a significant other who has a lot of great qualities, and they take those great qualities for granted. Whether it's a man with a woman with great qualities that are hard to find, or the reverse, a woman with a man with qualities that are hard to find, and you take those things for granted. Why is that? Because you have you have an unrealistic sense of entitlement. You think that you deserve to have those things just because. And then when you no longer have them, then you learn to respect what you had. That's what's going on with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They did not respect what they had in Kyrie Irving. A person who clearly was extremely mentally strong to deal with all of the chaos and the havoc that was going on in that locker room. And you see, he got tired of it. He wanted to deal in a more placid environment. And we can all see what's going on. Boston Celtics are one of the best teams in the NBA.
because he, not just LeBron, because he finished 5th in the MVP voting,
Yep.
he actually think he's a top 5 player.
Right.
Yeah, he really?
Yeah, well, that's the same thing that you were saying before the season. Shannon. Remember you saying that? Kyrie, we don't need you. We got IT. When IT come back, we gonna do what we did last year. Remember that? Hey, well, no. But that happened to you, brother, because you're another one of those people who worship LeBron James like a god. LeBron is an all-time great player, but no, he is not a god. Just a man.
Really?
Is the owner empowering him to believe he's a top 5 player?
Hey, Lou, you know what I'm going to call Lou? Lou, don't you, if you go, it looks.
I'm gonna call Teron. Right? He lucky the trade already went down, because I was about to start crank calling him. You know, put a towel over the phone. Say, look, nigga, if IT's still on the team by next week, you think Allen Iverson stepped over your ass? You wait till my size 13 step on your ass.
You got to sit him down. It's as simple as that.
Well, he
It might
did
not,
it last
might not be his choice.
Well,
Sit
I
it down.
don't know. Maybe he defied
Well, don't worry
the
about
owner
it.
edict
Well,
last night.
That's a good point by Joy Taylor. Maybe Tyronn Lue was being forced to play Isaiah Thomas so that other teams could see what Isaiah Thomas had to offer them so that he could be traded. Once again, a lot of times teams will play a player so that other teams can see what they're getting.
He'll get the message soon enough. When we come out of if you notice, Skip, see how many times LeBron run over and pick him up when he hits the floor. I mean, LeBron would get tired just doing that. That's a job in and of itself because he stay on the floor.
Should the Bronx?
But anyway, it's just very interesting to see the aftermath of this game-winning shot. A lot of times, like I state, things happen for a reason. Had LeBron not hit that game-winning shot, we would never have had that revelatory moment, which acted as a precursor for what occurred thereafter, that being the trade of most of the team. But anyway, peace.